All right, cool. All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to another ecosystem session. It is the 2nd of December 2020, and I'm with Eric from Junto again. Eric, how are you doing?
Doing very well. Good to see you again, David.
Yes, likewise. Very nice to see you. Yeah, so you've got some, well, I'm just going to jump straight into it. You've got what's been going on over I think it's been about 3 months since we chatted last in this format.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What's
Yeah.
been
Last
happening?
time, well, I'm no longer in Mexico, so
Why not?
that's a great question. I'm gonna head back there soon. Um,
Where were you in
yeah,
Mexico?
I was in Tulum.
Ah, I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
That's
Uh,
partially why our Wi-Fi probably wasn't um, super strong, but we are in better shape this time around. Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I was in Tulum in 2009,
Oh,
2008.
cool.
It was
Nice.
really nice.
Yeah. Apparently things have changed quite significantly over the past decade as well. So yeah,
A little less chill these days, maybe.
it was chill when I was there, just because less people are traveling. But yeah, like there are certain parts of it that have become more commercialized and less like in tune with the indigenous nature that and Mayan culture that it has to offer. But um, yeah, still really beautiful time. Great, kind of extended the community there a little bit, and very transformative period for me. So yeah, all good stuff.
Very cool. Wow. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So tell us what's been going on in Junto.
Yeah, so we've just been kind of finishing up some core features that you know we need for us to move into beta, and so we're fairly close to being able to kind of move out of this alpha testing stage to start to open it up to more people and build on some more momentum. And so the three main features that we're kind of working towards right now are launching the groups section of the app, and at least the public groups. And if we can get to it, we'll, you know, um, build out private groups as well. But the public groups are nearly done. That should be live within a few weeks. And um, a nice to have thing, but not essential for moving into beta, but we'd like to complete it, is being able to essentially, because on Junto, as you know, you can create using multiple expression types. So like rich text or photo or audio, short form links. And so just being able to add multiple expressions and within one expression. So I could kind of swipe through, a collage of, like, let's say I post a link and a photo and an audio and like some text as well. So that's something we are working towards. But the last feature that we're working on, which is the main one that we are doing a lot of research in, both on how we want to map things out in the back end, but also we're designing the UX for that as well, is what we call like intentions. And so this is what we envision for as a way to unlock a lot deeper value within the application and kind of move social media beyond primarily personal sharing to a platform that can really facilitate meaningful flows of value. And so to give you an example, like when I'm sharing an expression, there can be an option for people to add a specific intention as to why they're sharing it. And this achieves a few things. One, it makes it very clear that, my purpose for this communication is for this reason. And so let's say I'm, someone working on a project and I would like to seek collaboration from the community. Adding this intention makes it very, visible that, this is something that I'd like to kind of activate within the people that are saying this, and then, or if I'm a musician and, you know, right now on social media, it almost feels like everything that we share needs to be highly refined, or, you know, we have to overanalyze whether it's like perfect or good enough. And so another intention can just be like, look, this is unpolished piece of work, but I'm just looking for feedback. So adding those two intentions there could be really useful in shaping more dynamic ways of sharing and reducing a lot of the overanalyzation that happens with within social media. And for me, what's most exciting is like two of the intentions will also be offerings and needs. And so kind of bringing the gift economy into Junto. So basically within any community in Junto, like either the collective or any group that may exist, the community leaders, well, across the board, there's going to be a set of default offerings and needs that are useful for any community, but ultimately the community leaders can add on to that. A specific list of offerings that may be useful for that community, that social context, and as well as needs as well. So these work off of the basis of like a no strings attached way of supporting one another without the need of any type of currency, more like monetary currency like fiat or crypto or anything. It's just simply like, let's say I'm posting an offering that you know, within this community of this drumming circle, I can say, look, I'm offering some lessons, or maybe someone who needs to get a ride somewhere says like, I need, you know, a ride from the community, or so it's really a way to kind of facilitate an exchange of actual value that works in the gift. And the currency isn't monetary, it would just simply be gratitude in the form of acknowledgements. And so we, you know, people would be able to build up essentially reputation for themselves based off of generosity and like how much they are helping other people. And that in turn will inform, you know, like how much people will end up receiving as well, because naturally we like to help people who help others. So so that's in play. We, you know, we have been fortunate enough to be one of a few organizations that was accepted into this program that the CUNY University started up for their UX students. And so there's a, you know, there's a team of designers helping us out with the UX for that. Shout out to Zoe, Sydney, and Veronica for their hard work on that front. And so it's just 4 weeks of free UX that they've been able to support us with. And so we're about halfway through that process, and we're hoping to have this feature live by the start of February, and then move into beta at that point in time.
Wow. Okay, that's really cool. So you're supporting people to go inside and understand, you know, what is the purpose of the communication, and then be able to share that. So you're basically building a much deeper relational fabric into the app.
Right. And then through that also being able to unlock people's gifts, whatever they are, because right now it almost feels like we feel compelled to do things based off of, because there's a scarcity of money, and so everything has become reduced to highly transactional events rather than things that are working based off of like gratitude and genuinely wanting to help one another, which already happens in some parts of our lives with families, close friends, you know, random acts of kindness with strangers, things like that. So we want to extend that to be more of a norm in our culture and within communities themselves.
Sounds fabulous. All right. And so with beta, you'll move more into opening it up to new users. Is that right?
Yeah, we've been very low key on outreach right now. We're just been very development heavy, and so the, you know, beta is kind of the milestone for us where we feel like the product's in a position where it could actually be really useful for people to either supplement their social media use or to begin to migrate off of other platforms that they feel are extractive. And
Yep.
And we are also, the other big update is that we're aligning the launch of the beta release with the launch of our second crowdfunding campaign. And so the purpose of the crowdfunding campaign would be, you know, let's make sure that this beta launch can really be successful, that we can reach more people, that we can move towards a larger public release and move out of beta, and then raise the runway that we need to be fully sustainable off of our revenue model that we'll be launching next year as well.
And what are you observing with your current users?
So there's a lot of, we've had to put very little effort into incentivizing people to share. I think that's been, a lot of people had been just sharing very organically. And I think that it's ultimately validated our assumption that design can really help shape human behavior. And we've been pleased to see a lot of things feel, you know, more authentic and more personal. We've received quite a few messages from people saying that they've enjoyed the app, you know, and the experience of the app, and it almost feels like a family. Obviously, there are some bugs that we've been working through. Sorry, there's this dog barking. Yeah, obviously there are some bugs that need to be worked through, and we are cognizant of that. And there are improvements to be made to the UX to make the experience more intuitive. I think there can be more balance from us trying to be too creative in our efforts to make the app more intentional, and just making, like, balancing that out with like means of navigation that people are already accustomed to. So there are like tweaks like that it's an ongoing process that we're working through. But I think the main key points that we were looking for, like, can this function at this scale, and then can we, you know, like, is it really achieving the type of cultural norm that we would like to see? I think those things have been encouraging, and so we feel confident in moving forward to opening it up to more people.
And then how do you balance out the deepening of features with your desire to keep space? Adding of features, and
right,
that spaciousness you're achieving.
Yeah. So I think it's possible to add new features, but just the way the user experience is made, I think it just needs to still feel like highly simplified, and there are ways to achieve that, to make it still really easy to use and not overwhelm people with a lot of things. So it's more of a UX challenge than anything else. Here's some kids in the background on your end.
Oh, is it loud?
No, it's not super loud. I was just observing that. We both have little background noise going on.
Yeah, there you go. Well, hopefully it's not. I mean, if they were in the room, it would be distracting.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's not. What about RSM? Have you guys started looking at RSM at all and thinking about, like, whether Holochain's starting to get ready for what you need?
Yeah, we've also been doing quite a bit of research into that as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe there's some networking pieces that still need to be resolved with that, or has that kind of been
just got resolved?
Just got resolved. All right, cool. Well, that's good to know. Awesome. And so what are next steps on that front for you all?
Yeah, well, next step is getting the Elemental chat, sort of the first infrastructure release, having hosts communicate via chat, and then the following step is hosts hosting the chat for just normal web users following a web link. Just a simple chat room where everyone's moving in and out of the one room, the one group chat, but proving it can work anywhere, with networking all running, connecting all hosts, and yeah, and it's instant. So
Cool.
that's the main thing right now, and then yeah, getting ready for people to start building on it as the hosting releases come online. That's exciting.
That was exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, our intention is certainly to start putting, more effort on that front once things are ready for us to do so. And like right now for the next few months, like December, January, February, our main focus is just we're going to be defining a roadmap for Holochain, and we're going to list that in like the crowdfunding campaign. But we're going to be largely focused on getting the app to beta.
Yep.
And then doing all of the preparatory work to make sure that this crowdfunding campaign can be successful. And yeah, and we'll have more resources and time to, dig into getting Junto to be distributed.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, you've run one successful crowdfunding campaign. So
yeah, I think this is a completely different this one's going to be a completely different ballgame, but yeah.
Cool. Well, look forward to hearing and sharing more about that closer to time.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll probably make a formal announcement in January, and launch it likely by the start of February. So
cool.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you'd like to share with people today?
Well, those are the major updates on our end. Just day by day, heads down, just trying to get to the next milestone. And I feel like we're very close to being in a position where I think we can start to share this project with many more people. So I'm excited about that. But mostly just hoping everyone out there is, doing well, keeping safe, staying healthy during these winter months, and yeah, and hope to see more of you on Junto. And if not now, then maybe a few months from now, a year from now, whenever it feels like it calls to you. And yeah, just sending my best wishes to everyone out there.
Well, before we close off, how have you changed over the last, I guess, yeah, over the last couple of years as you've been releasing this out into the world, getting people's feedback, learning, thinking about how it wants to evolve? Yeah, how have you personally changed?
Like me specifically, or
yeah,
like
you specifically?
Yeah. It's been a lot of change. I would say the evolution of Junto for me, has been closely tied to my personal growth. I think that starting with like the more tangible things, understanding of, like technology, design principles, how to run an organization more effectively, like diving deeper into certain leadership qualities that as I reflect on, that serve me, and letting go of things that don't. Learning how to collaborate better, learning how to listen better. But overall, I think mostly just learning how to just let go, and just being in a space of pure non-attachment, just like really putting the intention in there, but not expecting anything and not being attached to any sort of outcome. And I think that's largely translated as well into the way that we think about Junto in terms of respecting people's personal freedoms, not only in the technology that we are using and our intentions to use Holochain as well, but in terms of how we are planning on handling moderation and things like that, like really distributing everything to the community and moving away from like a top-down mindset to one that is really bottom up and communal and kind of activating the power of the collective intelligence. But yeah, these past few years have been really, really nourishing for me. You know, it's really fulfilling to be able to do this type of work and kind of learn how to just manage more responsibility and keep a calm mind throughout it. And so I think my capacity for that has definitely increased. I'm feeling just a lot more at peace with everything, and just deeper sense of joy and love for life and gratitude for life and gratitude for my teammates and gratitude for the sacrifices that they make to continue to make this happen. And just, you know, just living from the heart more, I think, has been kind of the path that I've been on, and the path of those around me from what I can tell. So you know, I think Junto has played a large role in that, but also like the personal practices that I've been diving deeper into. And you know, we've had conversations about that before, but all of them kind of play into a holistic sort of adventure, so to say.
Cool. Yes, one thing really got my curiosity, what you said, which is, you know, when you're talking about practicing letting go and then the non-attachment, like I'm really curious, how do you practice letting go?
Well, I think mindfulness is the first step, just like being intentional about observing the emotions that are arising that you have no control over. But just doing any practice, like after observe, like having that awareness of what is happening in the body, like not fighting it and just really allowing it to happen. I think one becomes accustomed to those feelings, and then the effect that they have on you begins to diminish. And then I think there are certain things that are unique to each person to that they can do to kind of help them release, whether it's like breathing, music, meditation, primal yelling. I don't know. I don't do that, but maybe that's useful for some people. But I think the most important thing is just like surrendering and allowing the experience to happen, and then practicing non-action actually for me has been the best practice, like not doing anything and just letting things pass. And I think that deepens my trust in myself, and you know, trust in what I believe to be a guiding principle and force in my life. And so yeah, but I think different things work for different people. And remembering, I think bringing the awareness from my mind to my heart has been really helpful as well. And just kind of reminding myself that, you know, only love, like no ego, just removing the chatter and the energy and the awareness from, you know, the mental mechanism to one that I know is here. And then when I'm in that space, I'm only in a space of like there's a source of strength that comes from that, where I'm able to just let go of anything that's happening in my life, not only in Junto, like recently with some relationship things that I've been going through, you know, like that has been really helpful as well. And very challenging, but I think it was very grateful for those experiences. And of course, there's one poem by Rumi that definitely has helped me a lot. So it's called The Guest House, which talks about just inviting any guest that may come in, even if it feels like it's violently sweeping like everything inside of you, but just understanding that it may be clearing you out for some new delight or something else. So yeah.
Superb.
I love how our conversations always take a philosophical twist. It's like Junto 5 minutes and then just like 10 minutes of like life. And, yeah.
That was an unexpected turn.
Yeah. Those are always great.
Yeah. Well, but it makes so much sense as well. Actually, there's Michael Jackson's cranking in the background now. The kids are going. Just to send us off with some dance, but it makes sense because you're building something with where the space needs to. Yeah, the space needs to be there in every interaction, and you're trying to keep a space, whether it's design, whether it's experience, whether it's in communication. And I'm imagining with intention, you're supporting people to find that space within themselves as they go to communicate, and so you're supporting the opening of that space within them through. So yeah, so it makes sense to understand, to me at least, to understand or that process within you, because as that opens and deepens within you, then it will open and deepen within.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And there's one piece of wisdom that I received from this on YouTube actually, but it was there's this monk that runs the Shaolin Temple Europe, 𝐭𝐤𝐦𝐻𝐬. And so he, in one of his interviews, he talks about the middle way and how it is often misinterpreted. So by people who think the middle way is like, let's say you have like one side of the polarity or spectrum here and you have the other here. He says that often the misinterpretation is like going through the middle way is to always just go through it, so never to experience these extremes. But for him, the middle way is no, like these extremes are part of life, but it's really about, it's more of a circle. Like the middle way is like being able to be in any like state, whether it's like a deep depression or experiencing intense joy, and not being attached to those feelings, and just kind of keeping a center despite like where you are on that wheel. And so that has been another like I saw the video in Tulum actually, so that was yeah, that was another thing that was like a cool little nugget that I've been happy to pick up and think about pretty often. So just wanted to share that with you. And
yeah, I like that. Well, I'm deep into my kids are their own beings. They're not mine. They're themselves. I don't own them. And as 4-year-old decides to like opt out of the environment he's in. So I'll remember that as because it's not about, it's just about being with whatever arises, whether it's inside us or whether it's in our families or friends or whatever, and then what that brings in ourselves. And enjoying whatever comes and knowing like this is what we have signed up for. We've signed up to experience it all, not to well, as much as we can, rather than push it away or like let it burst out, or so.
And that's a completely different ball game too. Like being a parent, I can't even imagine. Like I have like several kids where, oh man, yeah. I respect people who can kind of stay zen and, you know, with all of the things that like happen with parenting and things like that. So
yeah, in the middle of that one.
Yeah. Well, all the best to you on that.
Yeah, and you on yours, and probably catch you in February sometime as you're heading towards the crowdfund, I reckon.
That's correct.
Super. No, thank you so much, Eric.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Also, shout out to 𝐭𝐤𝐬 on their crowdfunding launch. If you haven't checked out their crowdfunding campaign, they're building a distributed peer-to-peer secure messaging system. So I respect their team and the work they're doing. So I just wanted to give a shout out there and see if you can support them in that.
Yeah, super. Yep. Yeah, I put in my contribution today, so
Nice.
I was very happy. Yeah, and yeah, I'm really excited to see how that unfolds.
Yeah, I think they got I think they just launched it, right? So 20 something days left, maybe 30 something days left.
Yeah, it finishes on the 11th of January.
Cool.
So, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I'm about to go in and pitch in a little money too.
Oh, nice.
Get my username reserved.
All right, super. Well, yeah, take care, and I look forward to hearing how things are going next time we chat. I really appreciate it today. Thank you.
Sounds good, David. All right. Take care, man.
Take care.
All the best.
And you.